Okay, so I'm so excited to discuss this show. Show is it? What day is it today?
Is it Handmaid's Tale? Is it Better Call Saul? Is it?
It's Wednesday, John Joe. It's Wednesday.
Okay.
And you knew it was Wednesday.
I know it.
I told you about John Joe and big films and hating them, didn't I? I told you. You thought I was joking. Now look what you got to say about Avatar. I'm not saying no hard things going on, but if you've never been a refugee, it's a good opportunity for you to step into their shoes and see it without actually having to. So it's a good film. Definitely worth a watch. Yeah. Wednesday and this show have both really impressed me.
Yeah.
I feel like Netflix, when we said, stop doing this, Netflix. He went, okay, Kane and John Joe, we won't.
We'll do this.
Because I was watching it going, wait, what? It's like, there's so much like politics and people. And I was just like, every time I got connected to a person, I found out that that person had another agenda, and it was that person was connected.
Something else was going on, or
I was just like, my head was like, right, okay. Like, boom, welcome to episode 8 of 6 Second Critics, the podcast, People's Film and TV podcast. I am Kane, the host. With me, I have John Joseph III, who likes to go by
John Joe.
Excellent. So we're going to give you some films, and then we're going to talk a bit about TV shows. Let's get into it. That intro felt too smooth.
Okay.
Yeah?
Maybe you're just getting used to it. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
I
just,
hope so.
It's just easy.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's confidence, not hubris.
Okay.
But yeah, man, let's start off with Knives Out.
Yes.
So obviously the newest one came out, which is Glass Onion. But I said I was going to watch the prior film. So I watched Knives Out 1 first to begin with. I loved it, man.
Really good.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved how it was just like Cluedo the film.
Yeah.
It was like Cluedo the film
much.
in the attic with the knife. It was great. It was great. But what was really good is he had incredible actors in it. Daniel Craig absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
I love
his accent's weird though.
Yeah, I loved it. That southern twang. I thought it was awesome. It was even deeper than that. Chris Evans was great. Anna de la Ames was great. Like
She's the girl.
she plays the nurse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a fantastic film. I literally enjoyed it like so much. It was really entertaining. It had that like kind of like Scooby Doo feel as well. Like
Yeah,
they were
like, who's the killer? And,
Yeah.
like, chasing after this person. Yeah.
It was wicked, man. It was wicked. Finished on an 8.1.
That's pretty high.
Yeah,
actually.
solid.
That's pretty good.
Solid. It's a solid rating. And then we went on to obviously Glass Onion,
Yes.
which was the follow up. I don't know how many years in between the two. Maybe like 3.
Probably about 4. Yeah.
So have you seen the first one more than once?
Yes. I think
Yeah.
I've seen it. That's real bad to say because you already know what happens from the end of it. I think I've seen it like 3 times.
Okay, no, that's not bad to say because you
Yeah.
enjoy the film. You enjoy the film,
true,
right?
True.
So because you've got more experience with Knives Out, tell me how you felt about Glass Onion.
I think we kind of discussed it a little bit with the review. I didn't like it.
Okay.
I felt it was very convoluted, and it's just kind of pointless.
Pointless, John
Yeah.
Joe.
I think they could have done it better. There was so many things they could have changed that would have made it like, oh, this is interesting.
Wow, so you're saying you didn't find it interesting?
To an extent, I found it interesting, but it could have
Right.
been more interesting.
Right, okay. So let's start off with the positives.
Mhm.
What did you like about it? What was interesting?
The acting was good.
Which actor?
I like Daniel Craig.
Okay.
Who played?
Lead, villain,
Yeah,
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I liked Edward Norton. I think he played just a different character from what he normally plays, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think who else. It was mainly them two that I liked. I think they kind of coincided with each other and kind of played different roles, but it was very annoying getting to the end and thinking, "Oh, this is kind of pointless."
So you liked the ensemble cast? You liked all the different kinds of people in it and the different.
Oh, and Dave Bautista as well. I found him great fun.
Entertaining, very entertaining. So what did you need more of for it to be better then?
It sounds stupid to say a better story.
Story.
Yeah, not
You just didn't like the
or
plot?
even like a better mystery. Like rather than the twist they give us,
Yeah.
I would have rather had a different twist.
Really? See,
With everything that happens and with the nurse, obviously what you found out about her and stuff, I think it was a lot. There's more underlying like things to it. And yeah, I prefer the first one way more than the second one.
Wow. What did you get in the first one that you didn't get in the second? Except from
Maybe it was just a new idea.
Right.
Maybe it was because something. Well, then again, you've got to look at like what Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. Like I like both of them, and then obviously you compare them with like Knives Out and stuff, and then this new one I just didn't like. Maybe it's the like retro feel to it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's I didn't like the whole
modernized. They're
version
like
of it, yeah.
really. It's obviously about this billionaire on an island.
Yeah.
Or the glamour.
Like this technology side of things, which I was
Yeah.
kind of like, I didn't need that.
I get what you're saying. But what's funny is, well, first, give me your rating.
I think, what did I say? So the first one, Knives Out 1, I would probably finish on like an 8.5. And then this one, I think I said 6.
Whoa, 2.5 point drop.
Yeah.
That is major.
It's a big drop.
That is major.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think what you didn't like about Glass Onion is what I loved about it.
Okay.
I liked the so when obviously you watch the first film and you kind of like, okay, this is the kind of film it is. You get like you get the pace, you get the acting, you get the style, you get the twist.
Yeah.
You kind of go, okay, that's a formula for that film.
Yeah.
Then they say they're going to make a sequel, and you kind of go to yourself, right? How much of that original formula is going to be the same? How much is it structurally going to be the same, and how much are they going to build a different thing altogether? Think of it like a building. You have your concrete points.
Yeah, the base
and
floor, and obviously you just
and then
rising
it's
up.
like, okay, this is the house. Now this is a church. This is a skyscraper.
Yeah.
Similar foundations, but completely different thing built.
Okay.
I felt like when they showed how different it was going to be, still a lot of similarities. It's based in one place.
Yeah.
Marginally.
But again, I
most of
like
it.
stuff like that because it shows that you don't have to have this like such
Yeah.
a diverse,
traveling
basis kind of thing.
to add to
it's
it.
good to see one like,
Yeah,
place
plot just play out
and
in
then just
one
explore
space.
that place.
Exactly, right? So again, it was all based in one place, similar to the first one. Ensemble of characters, they're stuck without the police, or the police can't play a massive part in it.
Can't get there or whatever it
and
is.
They've all got motive.
Yeah.
All those elements were same. But then what they did is, by changing the surrounding and the kind of people that are involved, funny enough, both characters do come from a lot of money. Think about the Knives Out people, they're all doing very well. People on this island
But I
are all
think
doing
that's
very
who
well.
he gets drawn to, though. I think that was because he's so reclusive and he's so obviously famous that he is going to always get called on by these big people, or
Yeah,
these
true.
influential people.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is that these kinds of people are going to be involved because it's kind of like you need a private investigator. Like the police can only do so much, and you're going to be you want to know the truth, and there's a lot of stuff involved. There's a lot to be lost. I loved all that, man. I love the glamour, the technology. I basically what they decided to shift, I liked.
Yeah.
I think what they shifted, what they added, I liked. What they shifted that they added, you didn't like.
Yeah.
I think if they'd changed it, but not chose those things, you changed something else, I think you would have enjoyed it just as much.
Well, I wonder if it's the opposite then. So say if they would have changed those things, I would have liked it. Maybe you would have hated it.
I don't think I would have hated it.
No.
I don't think I would have hated it. Is because I kind of looked at what I got, as long as it weren't far from that. Like if they started making someone who would never be the villain, I would have been like, well, that kind of goes against everything it was in the first one.
Okay, yeah.
So for me, what they changed, I didn't mind them changing. And yeah, man, I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Great performances from everybody.
Yeah.
I actually felt like it was more complex in the first one. In the first one, I found it more predictable in the second one.
I wouldn't say the first one's predictable at all.
Yeah, I predicted it.
There's no way you predicted the whole thing.
No, but I predicted more than I did in the second one.
Okay.
So that makes it, just statistically, makes it more predictable. Follow.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so
they're just weird storylines.
I don't know why you have this opinion. Okay?
No, it's not that. It's just different ways of
storytelling.
Yeah, different storytelling, but there's also so many ways they could have taken it. So to try and guess those kind of things, you shouldn't really be able to do. And if you have guessed it, then that just shows that it's a poor mystery, in my opinion.
Are you saying the first one's poor?
No, I'm saying that you've got some convoluted way of thinking and thought, I've solved this whole thing. You've had too many games of Cluedo, Kane.
How many games? You've been at some of our family menu, like family year, didn't it? And you see me win Cluedo, haven't you?
I'm pretty sure I beat you, but we'll see.
Oh, pretty sure I beat you, mean no. Okay. So for me, I found it to be the better of the two.
Yeah.
Which I know if you're a dead person would make you turn in your grave. Well, you're alive, so you don't have the option.
Okay.
So yeah, man. That was the first film we said that we are going to discuss from the last episode. The next was going to be Violent Night.
Yes.
Would you like to go first or second?
You can go first. I'll go second.
Okay. I feel like this film, and a lot of films have done this before, find an actor, a lovable character, someone that people really enjoy, and then just let them do what they want in a film. Which is the typical style of that person.
Okay.
That to me is what Violent Night was with David Harbour. And that's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't think I did enjoy the film. I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it for what it was. But the danger of that is it's very selective. If you do not like David Harbour,
you're gonna hate the film.
It's that simple. Because he makes up a lot of the film. It's like with Aladdin with Will Smith. Will Smith gives a lot of the film the feeling.
Yeah.
Very much Will Smith, the dance and the vibe. Similar with Dave Harbour, the grittiness, the style,
Yeah,
the comedy.
adding his elements to it and having this, like,
You couldn't, that film wouldn't exist without Dave Harbour because it's all about him and what he did. And I imagine on set, there's loads of moments that they're like, oh, what do you think you should do, Dave? And I was like, I'd do this. And there's nothing wrong with it.
It just adds his personality to it, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because he's got a good following after
Stranger Things,
he did something else as well. He did something else. I can't remember what he did, but he did something else recently after Stranger Things. Because of his following mostly from Stranger Things, and he has got a fan base, they went, yeah, we can make a David Harbour film over Christmas with violence in it. And that's what it is. But the problem is that's very selective. I feel like if you are not a fan of, like I said, those three things, you're not going to enjoy this film.
True.
I did, but I like films that I have a little bit more. They're a little bit more for everybody.
So one of those films where you could put anyone in his role and it'd have the same feel to it.
Not so much him, more like the audience.
Okay.
I know loads and loads of people who wouldn't enjoy that film. And for me, I think when a film can entertain a diverse audience of people, it's a very good film. It speaks to people from here, and here in different walks of life. And it's not a bad film. It's just I didn't love it for that aspect.
Okay.
And if you like what I just said, you'll love it for those reasons. But I'd like a film to be a little bit more, just a little bit more for everybody.
Yeah,
you know
inclusive.
What I mean? Yeah,
everyone can look at it and go, "Oh yeah, I like this."
Exactly.
But you don't really get that coming out of this film.
Exactly. But there were some really good bits in it.
Yeah.
For example, when it talks about like his background.
The background, the like backstory I like.
Yeah.
It was different. It's not something you'd expect for what kind of film it is.
And what's funny about that is it was really short-lived. And I feel like it was really short-lived because it didn't really fit in completely with the style of the film.
No, they have to change it, like a lot of it to make it fit and stuff.
I feel like this film had a lot of, it's very surface level. And that kind of, that backstory was quite deep. And it gave it a lot of depth. And then they're like, no, let's just get back to Blood and Christmas quickly.
Yeah.
If they were to make a sequel and it was to explore that, I would be very interested. But for the same reason I just said, they never would, because it would then, all the audience they built from the first film didn't really translate.
Yeah. Again, though, it depends on the audience who's viewing it, because if people went in and liked that backstory, then yeah, they would want that second one. But if you go in and just wanted the Christmassy feel of it or like the violence to it, then it is kind of like, oh no, I didn't care about his backstory.
Exactly.
That's why it's so short.
And that's why I think so many people will not be interested in the second one because they wouldn't subscribe to that second film if they were enticed by what this first film's about.
Yeah.
What did you think, John?
I liked it. I think I liked the Home Alone aspects to it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty like funny.
Yeah.
But more brutal, which you just don't see.
Yeah.
I think we were saying it as well. It's good to see a film that's set at Christmas, has a kid in it, but doesn't stick to the whole like having a kid in the film.
Typical Christmas
main
film.
tropes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you'd think they wouldn't be so brutal because there's a kid there and this stuff wouldn't happen or whatever.
Yeah.
No, this didn't do that. This was like, we're going to do whatever we want and it's not going to matter. People are going to die. People are going to get hurt. Doesn't matter. I was thinking afterwards, I might have liked it more if the main villain and obviously Dave Harbour playing Father Christmas would have been like mortal enemies. Or like that backstory if the main villain was included in that backstory.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking the whole like Krampus side of things.
Yeah.
Who's obviously the opposite to like Father Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to see that, but I think it did give it the whole like just normal human element to it.
Yeah.
How it's somebody who's meant to be magical and is fighting against just normal people.
Yeah, someone
and
who's
stuff.
magical and anti-Christmas versus someone who's magical and is for Christmas.
Yeah.
That would have been really good, and that's something they could explore in the second film.
Yeah, maybe.
But I get you. I think that would have been really good. But you know why I don't think it was in it? That's depth.
True.
And this
True. This just wanted violence. This,
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And like, it's one of those films. It's perfect to put on in the background.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we were saying this. Like, I could watch that again if I had my phone in my hand, and it's just like, there, it's on.
Yeah. You put your phone down, like, oh, this is one of my favorite moments. Oh, anyway, where was I? Do
Yeah,
you know what I'm
get
saying?
back to it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this film's gonna like break accolades or anything like that.
No, you've got to look at like the most recent ones that have came out as well. It's not going to get up there with.
Yeah.
And then again, when like Avatar comes out, it's kind of just going to trump it completely.
Yeah, 100%. And all these things make it really unlikely for it to be a sequel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Strange when you look at a film, like normally you come out of a film, especially if you enjoyed it, you go, oh, I wonder if they're going to make a second one.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've watched a film where I've enjoyed it this much and gone, there's definitely never going to be a second.
Who knows? Maybe they'll do a series. I could see that as a Netflix series, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
With David Harbour, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd sign on to it. I just think it'd be too expensive.
Mm.
I think the amount of people that would watch it versus how much it needs to be paid versus how many people that would need to watch it continuously doesn't equal out. I feel I feel like that would be the problem. But he got bums in seats because he's a lovable guy.
Yeah.
And so they would have went, yeah, we made our money, made a profit, returned a profit, sick.
That's all that matters. That's all we needed.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They can just explore it in different avenues if they want to, rather than doing like a sequel or a prequel or whatever.
Yeah, I think they'd be rolling the dice with a sequel.
Yeah.
I think they'd be massively rolling the dice.
It just show him being more violent, but it being a different setting.
Yeah.
And it'd be kind of like, oh, you've done
this is the first one.
Yeah.
So that's what the problem is there. Hats off to them. Thought it was super creative.
Yeah.
I thought like all the way that people were murdered and the violence, it was smart.
It was visceral as well. Though.
Yeah. Also how they tied it in with Christmas as well.
Yeah.
That was really
the
smart.
references and everything
the
else
items
that
I
was
used.
Yeah.
It was funny, man.
Yeah.
It was funny.
So
yeah, it was a decent film, but we won't be anymore.
No.
No way.
Yeah, we'll see. What are you finishing on? Like
with Violent Night, I am finishing on a 6.3.
Okay. I was going to say like 7.3, 7.4.
Really?
Yeah, I like David Harbour in it.
7.4?
Yeah.
But then there you go.
I think he sold it to me.
There you go. You
If
like
it's
him
somebody
more than,
else.
I think you like him more than I do. And that says a lot. That explains it.
I don't know. I think he suited the backstory so well. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It sat well on him.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
What have you watched after that? What have you been watching recently then?
The only thing I wanted to mention was an honorable mention, which was a film that came out 2021. So last year, I think it was the start of last year. The Harder They Fall with Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, which obviously is rising now with like Creed and like Ant-Man Quantumania and stuff. And he was in Loki.
Yeah.
And Zazie Beetz. It was like a Western, but a modernized Western in my opinion.
Really?
It was good.
I've not seen it yet, but I've heard so much about it. A lot of stuff about black empowerment and stuff in it, I believe.
Massive black empowerment, especially like certain like not what would you call them in a Western? Like certain not counties. Like villages they go to.
Yeah.
There's like you can see the difference in like going to
far
a
along
black
community.
village and then like a white one. So that was really interesting seeing that side of things. And it was cool seeing Idris Elba as a bit different to what I was used to.
Really?
Yeah, because he didn't
What
play
was different without giving it away?
I can't because then it'd give it away.
He was an alien.
He was an alien. Just ruins the whole film. Oh no, you figured it out. No, it was different. It was good seeing Jonathan Majors in it as well. He suited the role really well.
He's a very good actor, like you said, man.
Really good actor. I'm really looking forward to Creed. I think he's gonna be good in that.
I think he's gonna be a captivating actor to watch in the future.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward. It kind of gives me Chadwick Boseman vibes.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to every performance he does.
Yeah,
even when he's doing something like an Avengers or a Marvel film where I'm a bit like, it's mostly CGI and silliness and sci-fi. I know his performance is going to be...
His characters change. Yeah. It's not like he's playing the same like person throughout every film. Everything's different. He sees what he needs to do and goes after it.
Yeah, and he kind of... You fall for it. You know what I mean? You believe every role he plays.
He can pull you in.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's what I'm looking forward to that. That's on Netflix, isn't it?
It is on Netflix. I think what did I finish on? Like an 8.2 actually.
Wow,
it was good. I'm not a big fan of westerns, and this one it sold it to me.
Really?
It was interesting.
I love westerns, man.
Yeah.
I used to always say if I could go back in time, I'd go to Western times. But then I know I'd be enslaved, so it's like, nah.
Yeah, I'm not the best.
No. Unfortunately, going back in time isn't
no.
Beneficial.
Always go to the future.
Yeah,
we know the past isn't that
Get in
great.
the TARDIS. Should we go back? No. Let's just go forward. Just forward.
No matter
please.
what, forward.
Just always forward. But yeah, speaking of Netflix, I watched a film that recently came out, which is called The Swimmers.
Okay.
Have you heard about it?
Wait, is I've seen 2 that are
I
on
thought you
there.
were gonna go. Wait, is it about the swimmers?
Is this about not Ukraine?
Really?
It's about like 2 girls who are athletes
From
and
Syria.
Syria. Ah,
Yes.
close. Damn.
John, you're going. How many war-torn countries do I know?
There are a
now?
lot. That's,
Ah,
that's hard. But yeah, I seen there was they were like athletes or something,
That's
and
right.
I assume that they've come here, or is it America, and
So
kind of
yeah, so basically they're like you said, they're training their swimmers
yeah.
from Syria. But basically 2015, 2016, when the
Okay.
bombs started getting dropped in Syria, and then when you're under a certain age, you can flee Syria to different places. But unfortunately, getting to those places is unsupported. So, say for example, this is not what it is, but say you're in England
Mhm.
and you're safe in Greenland,
Mhm.
how you get there is unsupported. So you have to get there on your own.
Right.
Talking
But
to
once you get
locals,
there,
yeah,
everything's
you're great.
like,
It's
right,
provided
okay,
for you,
okay.
but you have to get there.
Right.
And it's all
okay.
about what they go through getting there, and then what they can do once they're there.
Okay.
So enlightening.
Really.
Yeah, because obviously 2022, that was 6 years ago.
And is it still relevant now, especially with everything going on? Would you say?
Is it relevant? I think it is relevant
Yeah.
because it's human history, and
Okay.
and I knew about it, and I knew how horrible it is, and I spoke to some Syrian refugees before, but actually seeing it, you know what I mean? Seeing it on a screen,
It hits differently.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it kind of left me with a newfound respect for refugees, to be honest,
Okay.
because there's just so much they go through when they get to where they are, and then they just get treated like crap because people
Yeah,
are like,
because you don't belong here.
yeah,
Or, yeah.
it was man, it was really interesting. And then their story as well, like what's really interesting is they keep a really upbeat spirit, which is when you see what they go through is just incredible.
You can see how hard it will be to keep in that.
Yeah, just to smile every day, man. Just to keep smiling. Yeah, man, I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was really, really good. I liked the actresses.
Mhm.
I thought the actresses did a really good job as well. But I think out of everything out of this film, I just like the educational purposes.
Yeah.
I think films, like I said earlier, are storytelling.
Could you see it as a film that like schools could put on for like history lessons to be like, some kind of background to what like Syrian
Kinda like-
refugees have gone through? And
Did
stuff?
that with history with Saving Private Ryan, didn't they? Remember- and
Yeah,
did
yeah.
that with- no,
No?
not because of the film. It doesn't show that, but just because of the length of the film and how it does it.
Okay.
You get a complete story when you watch the whole film, and I think you need that complete story to get that education.
Mm.
Right? I don't think because the film's like 2.5 hours long. I think it'd be like 3 history lessons.
Yeah,
you
so
know
it
what I'm
take up some
saying?
time. Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't think it'd be worthwhile. But if you're doing like a paper on refugees or Syria or anything like that, and you want to know, I think that'd be a really educational film because it's
okay.
based on true story, and so many elements of it are very factual.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, film is storytelling. Every single time there's a plot, there's a beginning, a middle, and end. Usually, whether it's in all kinds of different orders.
Yeah.
And with that story, you're meant to leave feeling a type of way or leave something gained.
Mhm.
And this does exactly that. I left feeling a type of way about the refugees. I felt educated and I enjoyed the story, and it was well done. That's when it comes down to like the director as well, like the shots and choices he's made and stuff like that. It was good, man. It was really good. I finished on a 7.9.
Very good, actually.
Yeah, I often find that my ratings don't when a film surprises me and I'm not in the mood for it. I don't really enjoy it because I'm a bit like not in the mood for this. It's going
Yeah.
a direction I didn't expect. And I'll always say it's not a bad film, but this surprised me in a really good way. I had no idea it was about this. I thought it was going to be so much more positive. And
No, I've seen it. I think when it's advertised, it literally shows like them swimming or something, and there's like a bomb that happens or something. It's just you kind of look at it and go,
Mental.
I don't know about this. I
yeah,
think most people are going to do that. Most people are going to look at it and think that looks too heartfelt and it looks emotional, and most people won't put in the time to watch it because they'll have a wait or because it is too kind of
I think
hard hitting.
this applies to anybody who's not a refugee. You should watch this film because as a refugee, I understand that's a life you're living and it might be too painful.
Mhm.
If you've never been a refugee, and I'm not saying you've not got hard things going on, but if you've never been a refugee, it's a good opportunity for you to step into their shoes and see it
Yeah.
without actually having to. If you're just going to go,
Yeah, like
Don't
turn a
know
blind
about
eye kind
that.
of thing. And
Yeah, I think that's a really bad thing to do. It's been provided for educational purposes, and I think even some of the money was going towards like refugee charities and stuff like that as well.
Okay.
And it's inspiring for refugees. So yeah, man, it's a good film.
Good.
Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
You said your special mention. What you said yours, haven't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Mine is for a film called Stutz, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, bro, I want to say I was gonna say where I believe the last name was from, but that would have been incorrect. Could have been a guess. Well, yeah, Stutz, I believe, is it's the Jonah Hill film. So you've not seen it?
No.
Okay. So someone came up to me when I was doing an acting job not too long ago, and they're talking about like, mental health, and it's basically Jonah Hill has a therapist, and his therapist has helped him become such a great person in loads of different ways.
Okay.
And through this film, it's meant to be originally just filmed as if it's one episode or one session with his therapist.
Right. Okay.
But instead, it kind of veers off that and becomes something a little bit more honest.
Is it like a storytelling thing then? Is he speaking to him or
Yeah,
her?
it's almost like it's almost like a documentary, but it's not. It's a film. It's weird. It hangs between the two. But he called it a film, and he's marketed it as a film. So I'm going to treat it as a film. And I understand why it's more of a film than a documentary. Because when you watch it, you'll see. I'm not going to say anymore. But it's really good, man. It's really good. And what's important is I feel like with mental health at the moment, I think watching something that can help, if it can help your mental health every day while enjoying it, is really important, which is why it's my special mention this week. Just Jonah Hill talking about obviously a huge Hollywood star, talking about where the traumas in his life came from.
Okay.
What his therapist does to help. And his therapist goes through like 8 different exercises he literally does with his clients to help them have a different outlook on life and those negative things that happen to them. And I think if you watch it, I think a lot of people could watch it and find some really helpful
Like tips and tricks.
exactly
To, like trade kind of thing.
to deal with everyday life and the challenges they have. Yeah, and it's also as well, I really like Jonah Hill.
So is he playing himself then?
Yeah, it's him and his therapist talking about his journey, his therapist's journey.
All right, I'd like to know where the name comes from.
It's the therapist's last name.
Right.
Stutz. I can't remember what his first name is. I think it's obviously something Stutz.
Okay.
I've said it a lot now, so I hope that's correct. But yeah, man. I know as a thing. Yeah. But that's my special mention. I think that is it for films.
I think that's everything.
Excellent. Okie dokie. Well, that's it for films. We'll catch you in a moment for TV programs. See you later. Hey guys, you probably noticed that, well, things look a little bit different. Boom, what's going on, people? It's Kane here, and I'm at Soup Studios in the Park. A state-of-the-art soundproof studio equipped with 4 dynamic microphones. We've got a mixing desk and a camera mixing desk, so we can record anyone, anywhere in this room.
Big up Dad as well. He's killing it.
We've got lights that can be reflected onto this wall to change it any colour you would like to with this blank canvas. Of course, as well, you can bring props or banners to dress it a completely different way. Whatever works for you.
Because we were just talking about him.
I think you're going to enjoy this one.
Obviously, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to ruin either ending.
Here's the endings for you.
Yeah.
Make a pot of home. Okie dokie then. So, welcome back. And now we're going to talk about series.
Yes.
The TV programs before. John didn't seem too impressed with me.
It was
saying
just the
that.
way you said it.
Can you show me how I said it?
No.
I was going to get John to do some acting then. One day, guys. One day. I'll keep trying. Okay. So, I'm so excited to discuss this show. Show is it? What day is it today?
Is it Handmaid's Tale? Is it Better Call Saul? Is it?
It's Wednesday, John Joe. It's Wednesday.
Okay.
And you knew it was Wednesday.
I nodded.
You can go first.
Oh, thanks. I really like Wednesday. I really like
the actress or the character?
Jenna Ortega is great.
Okay.
Yeah. I really liked it. I always liked the old Addams family. They were always like really interesting just because it's like this macabre family that's so like different and strange.
Are they Mexican?
What do you think I just said?
I didn't hear what you said. What
Okay.
did you say? What did you just say?
Doesn't matter. I don't think they're Mexican now.
Oh, did you say
I
macabre?
said macabre.
What's that?
Like strange or like different.
But I think they are actually Mexican, aren't they?
I'm not too sure.
I want to say they are.
I think Gomez probably is.
Well, leaning towards that.
Okay.
It could be German, you know. Some German people call Gomez, bro.
Yeah, true. But I think Gomez is.
He is Mexican. He's not German. Go on.
But yeah, I like the old Addams Family. I think Wednesday, obviously the series now, has taken it and just thought, you know what, we'll just follow the best character. Because Wednesday, I think a lot of people do like Wednesday. I think she suited it really well, playing the character, just the darkness of like how she is. I thought when it was first advertised, I thought it was going to be like an older crowd. I didn't think it'd be a school. I more thought it'd be like
really?
a college
Right.
or like a bit older.
Like secondary school, university kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like an older setting. But it still did really well. I liked most of the actors in there. I think it was the two people for me were Jenna Ortega and Emma Myers. Emma Myers, who played Enid.
That's the friend.
Yeah.
Colourful one.
Yeah.
Cool.
So obviously it was just nice in the similarities, but not similarities, the differences between them, and obviously how broad they both were.
Yeah.
One's this way and one's that way.
Yeah, opposites.
Yeah,
completely.
that's the word I was looking for. Opposites. Couldn't see it. I think the story was interesting.
Yeah.
I think it did get a bit predictable after a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I knew what was going to happen from episode 3 maybe.
So you could see from episode 2, you could see 6 episodes
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Wow.
Because I think it was just too predictable, and I was kind of like, I can still stay along for the journey. I think I finished on about an 8.2.
8.2.
Yeah,
Solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man, I loved it.
yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I'm excited to talk about it because I almost feel like I'm rewatching the series. I
Okay.
finished the series like a week ago now or so. And so I've like been onto other things we've been watching and thinking back like, man, I really
It
enjoyed
was good.
this.
It's like you can remember the massive plots or the massive
Yeah.
parts of it and stuff.
It's also as well like it was the esque that I really enjoyed. Like I loved her what's the word? Her commitment to the character. We've obviously heard all the different stories.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the
dance.
violin,
Yeah.
the
Cello.
the cello. Sorry,
Yeah.
the cello, the dance that she like did the
Fencing.
the fencing. I think she learnt German as well
Yeah.
for a part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just shows that seems like one of those actors
Capable.
who's gonna be capable of something,
Yeah.
but also will do it where she'll push herself to the furthest limits
Yeah.
to make sure she gets
Do you
the
know
exact
who
part.
she is?
She's 20.
Yeah, man.
She's 20.
Young.
Yeah, really young. For
young.
parts she's played.
Yeah.
There's 2 other films that she's been in recently, which is called Babysitter Killer Queen.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on Netflix.
Yeah. It is pretty funny. It's
Yeah.
such as like a stupid film. Like it's just out there, but it is pretty funny. And there's one which is Fallout, which is a school shooting.
Oh wow.
Where obviously she plays a character who's in the school whilst it's obviously all going on.
That's serious.
And they're all like really serious. So it just
Good.
shows the difference in range that she's got kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The versatility.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I really, like I said, really liked how I like the esque. I like the commitment that she made and all the different stuff she did there. I like this world they built around the schools. There's a lot of depth in that. There's a lot of color in the fact of like there's these kinds of people, there's these kinds of
Different
people,
creatures.
yeah,
there's
all these
like-
different kind of ones, and then they can't do with this and that can't do that, and then no, if that family's like that and that family's like that, because Jenna Ortega's performance is so good, you kind of forget all that. But that's a lot of time to create that whole world around that.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're trying to make, like a Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of
Yeah.
thing, but obviously doing it round the Addams Family.
Yeah.
And maybe you will get split offs of different people doing this or different families and how they're going through this and stuff.
Exactly. There was some people I would have liked more of though, because
Okay.
I'm actually a huge fan of the Adam Family.
Mm.
I really like it. I remember watching it when I was younger. I remember the one that's about, I think it's like 1998, or maybe a little, maybe in the 1998, somewhere like that. And so because I'm such a huge fan of it, I wanted to see Cousin It?
Wasn't it? The hairy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We obviously see the mention of him in the
Mm-hmm.
series, but I love him. Maybe it'll be in the second series, to be fair. But to be
Maybe.
fair, I'm going to retract that point because there's a second season coming, and maybe the characters that I like,
Well, you'll get more
into him.
people. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on that basis, then I've actually got nothing negative to say about the show.
Okay. But is that more that you're hopeful for what season 2 is going to bring?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's it's not as if I'm like I doubt they're going to do it, and it's a shame.
Are you looking
I'm-
forward to see
Yeah,
what they will do?
I'm hopeful. I'm
Okay.
hopeful because
Okay.
of what they did this season. I feel like there's a possibility that because they seem to be paying homage to the original in loads of different ways.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I think it's a strong possibility that they might do that in the second season. Yeah, man, it was enjoyable beginning to end. And it really surprised me. It really surprised me because I don't really do teeny. I don't really do like that kind of not. It's not like this, but you know, like is it he wolf, she wolf, or like Vampire Diaries?
You've got Teen Wolf,
Teen
you've
Wolf.
got Vampire Diaries, you've
yeah.
got loads like that. Yeah.
I don't do any of that, and I know that this isn't like that, but my brain goes, yeah, like vampires and whatever. Teen, yeah. It just I think that, but this had you know what Tim Burton.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
Tim
You
Burton.
can't expect anything less.
Yeah, it's Tim Burton. Tim Burton gave it that darker, gloomy grit. And like I said, we all know it. I'm here for the grit. I'm here for it. And so when something feels gritty and real, I'm like, yeah. And I felt
you get
like
into
that.
it. Yeah.
Even the fact that the core elements of who she is get questioned all the time. Because if you were like that, people ain't just going to be like, yeah, that's just how she
No,
is.
because you're so different, and people are going to be like, whoa, this is.
And I
this
don't
is
want
a
to be
bit
friends
weird.
with people like that.
Yeah.
And that was real. Where I feel like sometimes it can be tiptoed around, but that made it way more realistic. So, loved it. For me, it's contender of best Netflix series I've seen this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
You'll have to go back and see what's actually came out this year, but it probably is up there for me as well.
Bro, it can't be less than top 5. I'm just thinking like, all the other Netflix I've seen, I've enjoyed this a lot.
See, a lot of people comparing this Wednesday to Sabrina, though. Have you ever seen Sabrina?
No, I've not seen Sabrina.
Right, okay. I can't
You've
really
seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen Sabrina. I've seen it start to finish.
Okay.
Very similar, like, beats and stuff.
Really?
Whereas, obviously, Sabrina's now got a couple of seasons, so more has happened. I can see Wednesday doing the same thing, but doing better than Sabrina.
I've not seen Sabrina, but I felt like Wednesday was going to be better.
Okay.
Because Sabrina hasn't got more viewers than Stranger Things. That is crazy. Like, Stranger Things is huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely viral. And then Wednesday has had more viewers than Stranger Things has had.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So it's doing bits.
Yeah.
Doing bits. One more time. Well done to Jenna Ortega.
She did
Incredible.
really well.
Very
Suited
good.
the role so well.
I'm finishing on a 8.1. That is, it's not 9, it's not 10, but for a series and what all the boxes it ticks, you expect my rating to be far lower than that. And you can see by how excited I am that I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. We said we're also going to talk about the Peripheral.
Yes. We both finished it now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my God, what a changing beat.
It's a journey, isn't it?
Oh
It's
yeah,
The
an
program
awful,
takes you on a journey.
wet, moody journey. And I'm not saying that because that's what happens in the film. I'm saying that because I did not enjoy this series. I didn't. I can't lie. I don't want to say I did, but like, yeah, like, dude, I loved some of it. But what I loved was all visual stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it. Looked,
It's the future aspect.
Yeah,
So the
that's
seeing
it.
certain things being like, oh, this is cool.
yeah, that was it. I was like, every time, like every episode, at 1 or 2 points, my brain went, "Oh, that looks cool."
Yeah.
That's not enough for a series to be good. I'm sorry. I don't like. It's Amazon show, isn't it?
Yes.
Amazon
Yeah.
show. Doesn't surprise me. Amazon got the bag. Jeff Bezos was like, yeah, whatever. Put as much as you want into it. And you can see that the VFX is great. Marvel, you should hire these people. But that's, for me, so much of it missed on top of that. I was, because of how much I enjoyed the visual aspects, I was then drawn into the action scenes. The action scenes that were really good, but fell so rarely throughout the series.
Yeah, it
didn't
didn't
get-
happen often. It was more that they wanted to take you on the journey of what's happening to this person, what's happening to that person.
And so what was missing for me is I felt like they crammed too much into one season. Yeah. I feel like what they should have done is they should have went, okay, is this helmet or whatever it is, and it does this. And you're going to do this, and you're going to do this for someone. Then at the end, you're going to be like, oh my God, well, I was doing this for this person who's this. But in the first episode or two, that sheet gets
I think
pulled
it would
up.
have been. I think it would have been too long, like long-winded, or not enough would have happened to make it last that long.
It depends how smart they are with it. So think about in the first...
So are you more saying that you would have liked to see it in? Yeah, obviously not saying this wouldn't happen. In the
No,
series.
I'm not saying
like,
about that. I know what you're
different
saying.
worlds and stuff, and like different aspects of different people,
It's not so much that.
like
I
each
just-
episode.
Not so much that. I just felt like they went, okay, there's this person, they do this. This person's working for this person. Oh, no, this person's that kind of person. Okay. That person works for this company. This company is in connection with this company. And this company does this in this world. And I'm not lying, am I? Think about
No,
it.
it
Look,
is, yeah, it's
these
all
are all
connected.
plot points that all
Yeah.
happen. Bro, maybe it don't need to be a series each, but all that we got, we could have split that into one season. Could split half of that into one season and the other half. Because I was watching it going, wait, what? It's like there's so much like politics and people. And I was just like, every time I got connected to a person, I found out that person had another agenda. And that person was connected
Something
to
else
this.
was going on, or
I was just like, my head was like, right, okay. And it just didn't need to be that way. I think Amazon hasn't got a lot of viewers, and I think they're like, got a lot of money. We've got a lot of people that use our website, but we're trying to make our splash in the TV game. And so we're going to do these massive, huge things. Cool, pump money into it. It will look beautiful, like it did.
yeah.
But you don't have to cram it full
You need
of
to have the
every
script there as well.
Yeah, don't cram it full of everything that could ever happen in a TV show in one series. What the hell's going to happen in season 2?
But you've got to do that though. You've got to do that to blow people's minds so that they are intrigued by it, and so they do keep coming back to it. Because if it was too slow, then it would kind of be like, oh, well, what's the point in watching that? Nothing's happened.
Jonjo, I feel like you said to me, look, Kane, you can't travel at turtle speed. You have to travel at sonic speed. Like,
If you have Sonic speed, travel at Sonic speed. Why would you go at turtle speed?
Bro,
Buy it that way.
you walk around Tesco at sonic speed. You're going to walk around Tesco at normal speed. And this is what I'm saying. I get what you're saying. I think it was just too much. I think I get what they're doing. They're trying to make it big. They're trying to add all these elements and going to make it complicated. But I felt like it was just too much. And I can guarantee, I put my name on it, season 2 is not going to do well. And I'll be shocked if they get a season 4. Yo, I held
could
my
see
hands
like
up.
5 seasons of it.
Yeah, but nobody watching it because
Yeah,
Jeff Bezos is the
yeah.
second richest man in the world, so you don't need the money. But
He's
it's
doing
not,
it for himself.
it's just the way the show's going. It just felt like way too much, and I don't feel like I'm the only person who's gone, what? Even the ending.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I last spoke to you about it, I think I was on like episode 4, episode 5. So I still had like 3 or 4 episodes left. And after I spoke to you, it did go pretty downhill. Like, I was liking Chloe Grace says in obviously the series, and it was doing perfectly fine. And then obviously it just got too much. There were adding too many things to it.
Exactly.
And that last episode lost me completely.
It made the last episode made no sense.
It made no sense.
No, they didn't leave it open for speculation.
No.
They didn't leave it open for if I missed something. It didn't make me think, do I need to rewatch the series? Because I watched it and I remember I contacted you like, am I missing something? I think to myself, have I been too busy? Have I not taken it in? And I know you pay attention. You don't really miss stuff. For you to go, nah, this makes no sense.
No, I tried to explain it, but then obviously I Googled it trying to look for something. And then when I looked and seen something, and I was like, I'm completely wrong. So no, bro, I don't understand it.
Peripheral, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man. I don't know. It, like I said, when it's on the positive, it visually looked really interesting.
You're always going to get that with stuff that is meant to
Money.
be set in the future.
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That like visually they did really well. The ideas, how like you said, you mentioned the ATV wheelchair last episode.
Yeah.
Loads of really smart ideas. Really, if anything, it's the biggest problem, and it's a huge problem to have. But the only problem was it was just too much. If they just dialed it down, that's it. If they slowed it down and gave us more, maybe more explored more missiony side stuff where there's more action happening. That would have been. I think that would have made it would have been a beautiful show. I think it would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
I would love to say exactly what, but I don't want to spoil it. But they just slowed that down, did a little bit more of this, came to that later, it would have been amazing. Because some of the hardest bits is the the special effects, being creative. You've got robots that do this, you've got people that do that, you've got this kind of got all these really good ideas. And I feel like they just went, yeah, how many ideas you got there? 100? Yeah, we'll
Let's
get them.
throw them all in.
We'll get that in 8 hours of TV. No problem.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a waste. Shame. I'm finishing on a 6 on the dot.
Okay. What did I say last time? I think when I last watched those 4 episodes, I think I was on like a 7. And I was adamant it was going to be like really high on my CV series for this year. I think I dropped to like a 6.5, 6.8. Yeah,
man.
it lost me a little bit. I think, like you said, it was just too much.
Yeah, it's too much. It was too much, man. It's a shame. Funny, innit? Got the peripheral, but need to be more narrow visioned. That might be the name of the episode. Feels that way.
Okay, cool.
And then finally, the last thing we said that we would discuss from last week was 1899.
1899.
So neither of us have finished it.
No,
I've
I've got. Oh, go on.
Hey, I've got 1 episode left.
Okay, I think I've got like 2, maybe 2.5.
So you go first because you've seen less than me. How do you feel about 1899?
From last time when I was really confused by that first episode, I'm now not confused, but also confused.
That
So
sentence.
that is very
confused.
confusing. Because like it answered questions, but then by the time you get to the end of another episode, you kind of like, there's more questions to go with. But it's so good. And I'm so glad I looked into how to watch it and like changing it to the
Okay, you would
right.
have ruined it.
Yeah,
It'd have ruined
because it sounds so much better when you're watching it in the actual original language
100%.
and seeing everyone speak to each other and not like seeing them look confused. And if you watch it where it's all English,
Yeah.
you're looking at why are you confused?
Why are you
They've just
confused?
said. But then obviously if
speaking
you watch
English.
it, if you watch it in the actual language, you can see like they don't
German.
understand each other.
Yeah, that's German.
It makes no
and
sense.
Yeah. Spanish.
Yeah, where am I at the minute? I have no clue what's going on. I keep thinking in my head, like, maybe this is going to happen. Maybe that's going to happen. And then like 2 seconds later, something will happen and I'll think, nope, that's not my idea at all.
Yeah. It's a good show. It's a really good show.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's what's really confusing.
What's incredible is Wednesday and this show have both really impressed me.
Yeah.
I feel like Netflix, when we said, stop doing this, Netflix, they went, okay, Kane and Jojo, we won't.
we'll do this.
Exactly. And they've really redeemed themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 90-minute goal. They've really redeemed themselves. Like, I've really, really enjoyed this show. Like, remember when I talked about a show about maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago and I said it's the wrong kind of disorientating? I said, you're disorientated, but you don't know what's real and what's not. And then right?
Yeah.
This is the right
Yeah.
kind of disorientating.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. I just have no idea what it means and where it's going.
So
Like
confusing.
it's oh bro, there's so many elements of the show that I love. First of all, I love like the cerebral mind bending stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that when questioning yourself, you go through one door, come out somewhere else altogether. I love it. I love the characters they've got. I love
It's just the different stories.
Exactly.
Like individual, like each person's got their own like thing that
Yeah.
just makes them
That
like so
person.
different.
but they fit into the puzzle
Yeah.
somehow. All of that is fascinating. And you've got more of that to come as well. You've got
I've
more
just
of that
started to
come.
notice all the triangles I'm seeing now though.
Yeah.
Like from start to
Don't
finish.
ruin it, by the way.
No, I'm not obviously just the triangles you see
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh yeah.
On the
But
whole
I noticed
thing.
that first episode.
Yeah.
I noticed that the very first episode. I was like, oh, I won't say it. But I noticed the very first episode. I was like, wait, you got that and that symbol. And I was, but yeah, man, it's amazing. All they had to do an incredible job.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is, and you've kind of came into it, is when they're talking to each other, and you got a Japanese person speaking to a Spanish person, and we know what they're saying because there's subtitles.
Yeah.
The actor kind of just reacts like, I don't know what you're saying, but I can tell by your feeling. And I think that's really special. And those kind of environments, it's just amazing so many times where, how can you portray a story through loads of different people who don't speak the same language?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you do that?
Because
Like,
if you were in that setting, you'd be so confused. And
Yeah.
you wouldn't know what to say. You wouldn't know how to react.
So many times someone says something really deep and the person just replies, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, it's so
Like it's
good.
so important to them, but
Yeah.
the other person just doesn't understand.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. I'm really enjoying it. It's also a contender for best series I've seen on
Yeah.
Netflix. Which it's probably not that difficult. I don't think I've seen more than 4 great series on Netflix
This year.
this year. But I won't talk about it too much now for the wrap up. But it's in there, man.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
Are you going to give a final rating with that like the last episode? Because we know how confusing this series is.
I can say what it is right now.
Okay.
So from what I've enjoyed so far, it's currently at 8.6, which actually puts it ahead of Wednesday for me.
Yeah.
But that last episode,
Could change everything.
VAR,
Could drop down to a 2.
mate, it could
It was all a dream.
that'd be insane. No, you know what? It could be all a dream, like, and it wouldn't drop that far because
Okay.
because the plot is a lot, and it's like, oh my god, I went through all this journey for no reason, but it doesn't stop that journey being rubbish.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
still enjoyed it every step of the way. It's like, for example, people who've seen like Lost or Game of Thrones. The end of Game of Thrones was this, but it don't mean that season 3, 4, and 5 was crap. It just means that
No, it's still
see
good.
what I
You just
mean?
ended it differently and
It-
stuff.
Don't get me wrong. If the ending doesn't bang, Wednesday will take the title.
Okay.
But
Okay.
currently, it could win it. It's
I
close.
think 89 is just more diverse. More happens.
Yeah.
Whereas Wednesday we're seeing one kind of setting. It's got a load of different like little stories, but this has more stories that seem to matter.
Yeah,
More
it's
like
deeper.
a grander scheme.
Yeah, but it's all about enjoyment.
Mm,
Do you think you're enjoying 1899 more than Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But just because I'm intrigued by it and it's
Yeah.
it's gripping me to know what's going on. And I think it's just that beat each time just going, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
where's it going? Where's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a fantastic show. It's a fantastic show. Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
I think I'm on an 8 at the minute.
And an 8.
And I'm on obviously like episode 7, I think.
So that's below Wednesday
6.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need that ending to
I just want to know what happened. And if I get to a point where I think, no, that's not what I've seen, then maybe it'll be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm actually kind of happy we haven't finished it.
Yeah.
It kind of leaves, without us going, yeah, the ending ruined it. We'll just, everybody who's watching it.
Other people
go,
can watch it and be like, yeah.
make their own opinions. That is all I've got for TV shows.
Yeah. Other thing I wanted to mention, I started Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just a quick one. It's not what I expected in the slightest.
Told you.
So confusing. But it's so much like it could happen, which is what's like pulling me in.
Unfortunate. And what's his side? Yeah.
Like the religious side of things.
Yeah,
Like I could see that drastically happening. It not even like the distant future kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think the woman suits the role really well. I can't remember her name.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah, she suits it really well. And I'm just gonna keep watching it and try follow along with it. I've
What are
noticed.
you up to in season 1?
I think we're only in like 7 episodes.
Oh, so fair for you.
6 or 7 episodes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is really
Beautiful, isn't it?
Good. It is really good.
You must have seen some of the choreographed scenes when you see all the different people coming in their different colours. You seen anything like that yet? Like big
Ooh.
open scenes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a part which is like in an open field kind of thing, and you see
Yeah.
them all. With, yeah.
Yeah, man, you get more of it. It gets better. It does get better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to give it a rating now because obviously I need to get
Course,
to more
course.
and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Come back at the end of like season 3. But
Yeah, yeah.
fascinating show, isn't it?
Yeah. Really interesting.
Excellent. Okay. Well, that's all on TV shows.
Yep.
Let's go on to what we'll be watching next. This is actually quite a short list.
It is very short.
Is Avatar: Way of Water.
Yes.
John Joe, you need to watch Avatar 1. I can't. It came out in 2009, bro.
And I still remember that film from start to finish. I'm not gonna
3-hour
rewatch it.
film. I remember 11 years ago.
Yep.
Inside Out. No, 13 years ago. John Joe, you need to watch number 1.
Watch it again. I'm not going to
Really?
waste my time. It's another 3 hours of a film that I already know what's going to happen, and I didn't like the first time.
Like or comment if you want John Joe to rewatch Avatar. How many comments or likes do you need for them to make you watch it?
1.
1.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I don't think
fantastic.
anyone
I like it
comments,
myself.
so it's-
I like it myself. Lovely. Job's done, guys. Well
Wow.
done, everyone.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I think you should watch it. I know even if you come back and go, I hated it, it's exactly what I thought it was. I think I'll be surprised if you got the same opinion from 13 years ago.
Maybe I'll like do, what would I do?
Watch it in fast forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Just so I can see like the bits that I remember. And then maybe get like a script up to be like, oh, so he said this at this point and
Yeah.
this at this point.
Wiki story points. Ah, right. Yeah, that happens. Seen the film. Great.
Sorted.
So based off that, then you're not looking forward to 2.
No, because I think it's going to be the same thing. And I think everyone's just kind of, at the minute, everyone's overselling it. Everyone's,
That happened a lot with 1. That happened
Yeah.
a lot with 1.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
and I think, again, that's because it was at a time when 3D was massive. And it was one of the first 3D
yeah,
films.
100%.
And everyone loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't. And I think this is going to be the same. There's not really much I can really say about it. I'm just,
Tell me your rating for 1, right? Based on how you feel now, and then what you think your rating for 2 is going to be.
a 5 for 1. Maybe a 6 for 2.
Do you all think it's going
And
to be
that's
better?
only because I'm hoping that it, as you said, it's been 13 years. And I will hope,
They've
I'm
improved.
hoping they've changed something.
This is so mad. I told you about John Joe and big films and hating him, didn't I? I told you. You thought I was joking. Now look what you got to say about Avatar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to end
Are
on
you
that
looking
one.
forward to it?
I'm curious, man.
Okay.
I'm open-minded and curious. I liked Avatar. I enjoy Avatar as it's just a big sci-fi film. There's loads of deeper elements about Western colonization, all that kind of stuff. And I subscribe to it a bit, but I don't love it as much as some people do. I think the first one, like you said, it was massively hyped.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the hype's just following it. It's not following it because people are going, the first one was amazing. People are just going, the first one was massive.
Yeah,
So
so
this is gonna
this
be
one's going to be
massive.
massive as well. I've got to see
Yeah.
it because if I don't see it, I'm going to be out of the loop
Yeah.
with everyone. And
Yeah,
I just don't really care much about that.
That's what I'm nowhere near on that hype wagon, but I am definitely curious. It'd be mental if it was better than Black Panther. Wakanda
Not a
Forever.
chance.
I don't think
There's
so either.
not.
But
not
at
even
the same
close.
time, whenever you say never,
Not even close. I'm adamant it's not even close.
fair enough. You've been watching or listening to 6 Second Critics, the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you. Getting to the end of another episode of our podcast. Like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. It really helps us out. All the Instagram, TikTok can be found below. Something else you can do. tell us what you think of the podcast. Review us, give us a few stars or whatever you want to do, just so that we can improve and be better for you guys. This is the People's Film and TV podcast, and we're doing it for the people. Thank you very much. See you later.